So Highland Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with...
And I'm Geoff Thorpe from Vicious Rumors.
I have some questions today about the upcoming album, The Devil's Asylum. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you guys feel about the response to the announcement so far?
It's been amazing. I mean, all the ratings we've gotten, like out of like the top 50 new albums, we've been in the top 10 on every single one of them. People have just been saying that, you know, they feel like it's our best record since our Atlantic albums in 90 and 91. And so it's exciting. It's an exciting time for Vicious Rumors. You know, it's our 14th studio album, and you know, we just love the action, and honored to just have such a long run at this, and for people to respond to this album at this late stage of our career is, you know, it's just really great, man. It's really rewarding.
That's great to hear. We got to jam the record ahead of this, and it absolutely rips. It's deserving of those very high spots on the top 50 charts of upcoming records. I dug it a lot.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you listening to it all the way through, man.
Of course. I'm curious, just to kind of get a scope on things, the timeline for the record, when you guys started writing it, when you had masters in hand, rough dates. They don't have to be exact, but just curious to get the full scope.
Yeah, the crazy thing about this album is we haven't made an album this fast since 1988's Digital Dictator. At the end of the tour, in the European tour in 2024, it was very clear that I was going to need a new singer and a new guitar player. And so what I began doing, like, immediately, I sort of felt like this mounting pressure, because SPV had been patiently waiting for an album that they'd actually given me an advance for in 2019.
Damn.
And so, you know, one thing, then the pandemic hit right after I got the advance, so that just kind of squashed everything for a couple years. And then as soon as everybody went back to work, all these record companies started re-releasing our first 4 albums. And I was excited about it. You know, I thought, like, this is, you know, it's cool that this is going to happen. But at the same time, I'm like, you know, well, man, how are we going to get involved in this? How are we going to make this work for Vicious Rumors? So I just came up with the idea that every time I found out a record company was going to re-release one of our albums, I'm going to book 30, 40 dates around it, you know, and just and plan it like a tour release also. So and it kind of worked out good, because you know, the record companies, of course, thought, wow, that's great, you know, you're going to help us sell some records, and then we were able to get involved in, like, liner notes and making those re-releases a little bit more special. And anyway, a long story short, it made what it did for the band was it created about 250 shows. It started with Digital Dictator, that was 2 solid tours of the US and Europe. And then the Atlantic albums got re-released. So we did an Atlantic Years tour. And then Soldiers of the Night got re-released. And we did 40 shows with Raven in the US, and a bunch of shows, headlining shows on our own. And what that did was just 200 plus shows of playing those old school classic songs. And it made me just really, like, you know, when I saw the reaction from those shows and people sort of reliving those times. I mean, guys were showing up with pictures of me and them from 25 years ago, except this time they got their son or their nephew, or, you know, or whoever it is with them. And so it's been a generational thing to, like, connect with people through the music. And I just, you know, it's just an incredible feeling. And so I really wanted to kind of go that way again for this album. So I was already had a little bit of this old school approach in my mind. And when I was feeling the pressure to make the new record and find 2 important positions in the band, you know, it's kind of an overwhelming goal to be ready in time. So I just thought, you know what, while we're interviewing people, I am going to go right in the studio with my best ideas I have so far and just finish a demo of, what I think could be the next record. And
Yeah.
I've done that on the last about 4 studio albums. I go to my friend Jimmy Evans' studio at Electric Punishment Studios in Santa Rosa. He's a great songwriter, guitar player, a dear friend of mine, and we work really well together on several projects. So I go up there and make a demo. Where I just do the bass and all the guitar parts, and I even do the vocals. And just for like a rough idea, of course, I give it to my guys and I let them know this is only a demo. This is just so I can present something to you guys where you could, okay, yeah, I see what you're going for. And then by the time they put their stamp on it, then it goes from a demo to an album. And that's what happened. I just went and I made this demo at the same time we were trying people out. And actually, by the time we hired Chalice and Denver, I had the demo finished.
Yeah.
So the one great thing about that was, even though I sort of didn't get any really input from them on songwriting, they did a tremendous job just putting their own flair on my ideas, and it kind of killed two birds with one stone, because as soon as they were in the band, they were in the studio cutting a record.
Oh,
So it
yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
so it happened very quickly. We went in the day after Christmas at Trident Studios with Juan Ortiaga, who we've done all our albums with since Warball. And he's worked with, Testament, Machine Head, Death Angel, Exodus, Ted Nugent, Night Ranger. I mean, he's worked with a lot of big names, great artists. And him and I are work really well together. We got a really great friendship also. And he's also a musician. And so when you do an album with Juan, it's like he kind of joins your band.
Mhm.
I mean, he's not like, okay, we start here, we finish there, and then I'm going home. He's just like, we're talking about it afterwards on the phone. And, I mean,
Yeah.
he's in it to win it for sure with the bands. And I don't think he does that just with us. I'm pretty sure he's such a hardcore, passionate dude about it, and he's also technically so savvy, and just he's been doing it so long now. He just knows how to EQ heavy metal music so that you can hear every instrument, and there's headroom for everything to be loud and clear. And it's like, like I love some of our old recordings because they're snapshots in time, and and they have some great material on it. But when I hear like what Juan does with the band now, it's just such a huge sonic difference. So it's been great for me to have a team that I can go to with Jimmy Evans, make the demo, make the album with Juan. They're just people I trust. I know I'm going to get a great product out of, and we happen to all work together very well. So we went in the day after Christmas and we finished the album. We were done with the mix February 3rd.
Oh, wow.
Damn. Spun it around real quick.
Yeah, and for us, man, I mean, like I said, we haven't done that since 1988. I mean, ever since then, it's taken us months to sort of just get the tracks and be ready to mix. Oh, I want to redo something, or there's always been a lot of that. And this time, like, I sent the bass tracks to Robin Ulbolt, our longtime bass player, and he just, I just did really basic bass parts, a few bass lines here and there. But I left it really open for him to do his thing. And man, he sent me back an album where I just thought it was so good. For the first time ever, I didn't ask him to try something else or redo anything. It was just, he sent me like these solid gold recordings, and I just kept everything he did. And so the same thing with Denver Cooper. Like, I just sent him solo sections. He didn't really know the songs or really, I just sent him, look, I need you to solo here, here, and here. And if you hear something else, go ahead and throw that in too. It just left him a lot of room to do stuff. And again, he sent me some of the most interesting, ripping solos, I think, that I've had since the legendary Mark McGee has been in the band. And so again, I kept every single thing he sent me. And so it would, and Larry Howe, our longtime drummer, came in there like he always does. I don't even know how he does it, but he just comes in, sets up. He sets up, he gets these big tones, boom, 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 and he set up, got tones, recorded 11 songs in 15 hours over 3 days.
Wow. Woof. That's insane.
Yeah, he's a guy, he's such a consistent hitter. I mean, like, you know, very little fixing has to be done because his snare drum through a song, he finds a hit and he just gets that hit time and time again. He's very consistent, solid drummer. And that's really his drumming and my guitar playing and songwriting are sort of the thread. Like, we're the two original members, and so we have that sort of heartbeat of the band. And of course, Robin Ulbolt now is a longtime member, been in the band a long time, and it was also cool because we did this in 4 studios at the same time, 2 in California, 1 in Florida, and 1 in Sweden. And
okay.
I remember there was a couple of days I was at Juan's with Chalice doing vocals, and I was on the phone to Robin in Sweden. Okay, I got to call. Let me call Denver really quick. We got to take this call. And I was just like, we had all 4 studios going, and we were just thinking like how cool of a time it is to be where you can do that, and then the end result kind of sounds like we're all jamming in the same room.
That's dope as hell.
That's really fucking cool. We've never gotten that before, where it's just everyone's in separate studios at the exact same time. That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, we don't set out to do that, and I miss the days, I have to say, when we all lived around 50 miles from each other, and we got together a couple nights a week and jam. I miss that because it was just fun. It was fun to do it. The band just gets really tight like that. But this is just what we're faced with because this lineup is spread out so far from Gothenburg, Sweden, to the southern tips of Florida, to the Bay Area of California, to Germany. I think our meeting place would be in a forest somewhere in northern Canada.
Yeah. Why the hell not?
We'd have to rent like a tree farm or something and just
that'd be so
crazy.
Copter in or something. I don't know.
Exactly. That's the next album. That's the next one. That's the next one.
Great idea.
Yeah, exactly. Idea. Come on. Okay. So what song off the album took longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
That's a tough question. That's like picking my children. Let's see, which one of you little bastards do I like best? That should be easy, but no. I'm really I put a lot of work into Boring Day in Hell and Abusement Park because on those songs I also did lead vocals.
Okay.
So I really put a lot of work into those. So that I'll put those 2 in kind of like a little bit of a separate category because just because of that. But out of all the songs that I did with Chalice, man, I really like the sort of dirty kind of mid-tempo grind of Butcher's Block. And I think he sang that really great. And also High Hell Hammer. I thought he really caught the essence of, there's only one Carl Albert, man. There's only one Carl Albert. And we don't ever expect to recreate that exactly. We just want to try to be able to represent it, And Chalice, I think, out of all our singers, has like the closest timbre, just the timbre and the sound and the way he holds some notes sometimes is kind of reminiscent of Carl. And so when we're doing the old songs and when we're doing some of these new old school sounding songs, I feel like he really brings that Vicious Rumors feel, the classic Vicious Rumors feel out. And I think that's why, a lot of old school fans are really responding, and a lot of the old school press likes the album so much because it's really taken them back to the time when they first liked Vicious Rumors in the late 80s, early 90s.
Absolutely. Hell yeah.
That's special.
So how'd the track list for the album come about? Did you guys write the opener of the opener, close to be a closer, shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
You know what? I did write the opener to be the opener. I wanted the first song to be just a real just a first song to come out and be a banger, just boom boom, like really driving, really powerful. And then I also wanted like the big Vicious Rumors payoff with like the harmony guitars and the 2-part harmony vocals all sort of weaving in and out of each other, but with all that power. And I think we were really successful at it with Bloodbath. And so that was definitely geared to be the first song. And if I would have somehow topped it in some way with a song that would even have been a better first song, we were open-minded to it, but in my mind, oh yeah, this is the first song. You know what I mean? And it turned out pretty good that way. And we didn't intend to have the song "The Devil's Asylum," the title track, so to speak, be the last song on the album. I know that's kind of unusual. We didn't really intend it, but a bunch of these, the music came together for this album very quickly, as I told you earlier. But when it came time to kind of get the lyrics and the melodies going, I was a little I was like, okay, I've done 14 studio albums. What do I have to say this time? It's a lot of back catalog, and I kind of had this other idea that I've been working on for a long time. Is I have some sort of script ideas for some really scary movies, and that's where a lot of these titles. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to borrow my movie script ideas and use them for the album now. And if a movie comes out with the same, if Bloodbath comes out in the theater, then I've already got a song for it, know?
Exactly. Yeah.
and out of those titles, Boring Day in Hell, Abusement Park, of course, The Devil's Asylum. A lot of them came from my sort of ideas that I had for these movies. And that made it a lot easier for me to it took a little pressure off me. Like, so I'm just going to give people like a little vibe off each one of these stories, whatever they were.
That's super dope. I love that.
Yeah. So I hope to do something with those also. I don't know if you guys heard or not, but I broke my shoulder at the end of the last show in Europe. And don't ever break your shoulder, guys. Just don't do it.
Well, I will not try to, but I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, it's been like, it's such a painful, like, my God, it's just, you don't even realize, like, it's so connected to everything. But anyway, I'm going to make it. The worst is behind me.
Yeah.
Good.
But I have a lot of recovery time. So I'm also taking some of that time, and I'm working on a book about Vicious Rumors. 40, it's going to be like 50 years in the underground.
Damn.
Ooh, wow.
That's dope.
And I've got a lot of crazy stories, man, about like when I first got into music with my sisters in LA, and seeing Van Halen and Quiet Riot with Randy Rhoads in nightclubs before they were famous. And just encounters I had with Richie Blackmore and Tony Iommi, and just a couple of really funny situations. And I think it's going to, if people are, it's not going to be a star-studded, like, we pulled up in a Learjet and fucking, crashed into the hotel, but at least we landed in the penthouse. I mean, it's not going to be like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be more like we drove the goddamn van all night, and got to the gig just in time to set up and play, and Klaus Meine and Rudolf Schenker stopped in and really blew our minds, and it's the stuff like that, but it's all real. You couldn't make the shit up, and 46 years of Vicious Rumors so far, you couldn't make it up. But it started before that, though, with me in Hawaii. and that's probably where the book would start, like going way all the way back.
Yeah, all the way to the very start. Yeah.
So that's something I'm working on too.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, that's fucking dope. And this one should be super, super quick off the top of your head. I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
Let's kick ass.
Hell yeah. Let's kick ass. Straightforward. Yeah.
Love it. So can you talk about any particularly challenging or standout moments during the creation of this album, positive or negative?
A really positive one was that Chalice, I mean, he the way we found him is about 6 months before I was looking for a singer. He just contacted me out of the blue, just saying like, "Hey Geoff, if you ever need a singer, let me know. Like, I'm totally into Vicious Rumors. I'd love to get a shot if you ever need me." And I was like, "Oh man, that's so cool. Great, man.
Yeah.
Definitely." We had a good talk, keep him on the radar. But one of the greatest, the scary thing is like I hired him, and then it was like, okay, now we're gonna make a record together. We don't even know each other yet.
Yeah.
Damn,
So
yeah.
I mean, he rolled the dice on me, and I rolled the dice on him. And he came to my house in California so that we could, be together in the studio. And I was producing the album also, and so. But I could tell the very first night, like this is, he was like considerate and like he was really professional. He just wanted to go to bed early because he knew we had long studio days every day that week, and we basically had that week to do the album, and it was like that was it.
Wow.
So he was just like, man, I just want to go to sleep early. He was very just like polite and just cool, just a guy that you would love, respectful, a guy you would love to have in your house.
Yeah.
And we connected right off the bat, and then the next thing was, after the first night, I'm like, okay, great, here we go, tomorrow morning. Now the next thing is, how's he going to do in the studio? Like, is he going to be able to like follow? Is he going to be able to come up, do like certain harmonies and follow the melodies I have? Like, am I going to like what he does? I'm like, here's the next thing, so that, and then we started working together, and then that was great, and I was like, oh man, listen to that. And Juan and I were just going, God, he sounds great,
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that rolling the dice on each other and coming up fucking lucky number 7s and 11s for both of us was a huge thing on the record. That it was either I just took a chance, like it's either gonna work or it's not, and if it doesn't work, okay, I'm gonna be set back a bunch of money and we're gonna have to try it again, but because studios have to be paid and things like that, but and flights were paid for, and that type of thing. So but it worked out great, and that's probably the greatest part about the record is like the way we got along, the way we made it so fast together, and like it was like a fun, easy process. When we got done with the recordings, we had food together and just talked about other stuff, and we just got along really good, and so it was just a huge relief that it was going to work.
That's great.
And I don't really have, I don't have any bad memories of making this album. I mean, there was a couple stressful moments of just, stuff that's so unimportant that, you know what I mean? There's no room to complain about anything, like how lucky we got with each other and just the whole situation. So I'm just going to say that was the one great thing, one of the greatest about it.
Hell yeah.
That's great. Yeah, hell yeah. And for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour. You're at a gas station for a rest stop. You're going in. What is your snack of choice?
That is awesome. I'm not really like a big soda guy, but especially in Europe, man, they take their little desserts and stuff very seriously over here.
They do.
And so I might there might be a weakness here and there to get a little sweet tooth or something. The other guys are probably like a beer or a little Jack and Coke mix or something, but for me it's probably like a some kind of nice little chocolate or something like that. Or I'm also a big coffee guy.
Oh yeah, love
Hell yeah,
coffee.
So
that's
I like having the coffee at the gas station and just stretching my legs and having a coffee and stuff. Yeah.
absolutely. All right.
Damn straight.
Oh, sorry, that's probably kind of one of the most boring answers you ever got. But
Nah.
No, we get it so frequently.
Yeah.
You are
It's all reliable.
so okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the last couple questions, going to shift completely away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
not sure I'd even want to eat if that was the case. I might want to go
Just go
go
out
out
starving.
hungry.
Yeah.
you know, but let's see. You know what? I love like Thai food and stuff. So I might go with some of the spicy Thai soup and nice little chicken dish, maybe some seared steak or something, a couple dumplings. I don't know. I grew up in Hawaii, so I ate a lot of Asian food,
Yeah.
and lately I've been on this Thai kick. So if it happened now, I'm gonna have to go with the Thai food.
All right.
I can't give it up right now.
Yeah. And if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
I left Hawaii when I was a kid because when I got into rock and roll, I first of all, when I was young, I never wanted to leave Hawaii. I was fully ready to just get a job at a gas station and go surfing every day, and that would have just been just fine. So, but I got into rock and roll, like just jumped in both feet and never looked back. And once I did that, the island just got about that small to me. There was just no rock scene there, no way to really do anything from there. So I left at an early age, and I'm gonna say going home to Hawaii because I've been traveling the world since then, but only been back there for except for when I was very young. I went back 3 times, like within the first 2 years. And then after that, after like 81, I hadn't been there till just 2 years ago when on a layover to Japan.
Yeah.
And I remember just being at the airport and like looking at Diamond Head, because I lived in a town called Kahala, right on the other side of Diamond Head, that you're looking at it from the airport. And I could just see that classic Diamond Head shape. And I just looking at it like just, wishing I had time to reach out to a couple old friends and
catch up,
drive over there.
Drive
over there where I live. So yeah, I was lucky to grow up in Hawaii, and I miss it. So I know it. I've been to a lot of new places since then, beautiful places. But if I'm only going to get one, I'm going to go with the Hawaii.
Sounds good.
All right. And I've done asked the last question. Every single person that we've spoken to have said that it is the most important question. What is your favorite color?
I'm going to go with black.
Black. All right. Yeah.
All right. We'll take it. Yeah. Well, reliable. So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Hey, I would just like to thank you guys for everything you're doing for live music, interviewing bands like us, and keeping metal going. And for the readers and the listeners, and the same thing, man. Thank you, because without you guys, it ends. So, let's keep live music going. And I can't wait to see everybody on tour in 2026. I got about another 3-month recovery to go.
Yeah.
And I'm coming back with a vengeance, and we got a new album out. So let's rock and roll.
Hell yeah.
Damn straight.
All right. Well, thank you. It's been Geoff from Vicious Rumors, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.